So in this next part of the first exercise, we're once again going to create a map utilizing the GeoPandas. Okay. It's a bit more simplified because we have GeoPandas, but of course, since it's a tutorial, it's got some components in there to help the tutorial move along. So once again, we're going to be getting the data. In this case, oh, before I forget, let me do a better job at this. So this is an exercise. Once again, another exercise. You're looking at geospatial data, and we're looking at the Kiva platform. So as you look, this is a combination of financial services, or you can call it fintech and geospatial analysis. So we're looking at how the Kiva entity, the Kiva ecosystem services the world and provides funding to undeveloped countries. So once again, bringing in GeoPandas, importing our libraries. Remember, this is just a warning. It's okay. Now we're going to get the data, and the data is Kiva loans, which is Kiva loans. I think it's up in this data spatial. Yep, Kiva loans right here. Okay, these are the loans. There's a database file. There's a shape file. There's an index file. So we're going to grab that data. We're grabbing the shape file, and we're calling that the loan. We're calling the data. The data is located on this that we're calling the file, loan file path. GeoPanda reading this file, and it's called world loans. And we're going to look at the first 5 rows of data, starting at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5. Credit microfinance institution, general finance institution, loan theme is for higher education, Cambodia, this is the amount of money, and this is the point where they're located, where the money was delivered to. This one here is for vulnerable populations, higher education, sanitation. Okay. Oh, there's a whole lot of money here. Vulnerable populations. This is $604,000, almost $605. Okay. Okay. Taking the file here, now we're going to load the geoframe containing the counting boundaries. Okay, so what we've done between here and here, we've taken some of the data, added the data here, and in this case, we now have the world projection. So we've created a world projection, multi-polygons. Multi-polygons are many different shapefiles within a region. So Fiji, we're talking about a bunch of islands in Oceania. Okay, that's why it's like that. That's why you have these multi-polygons. So we're going to be basically projecting this data set and this data set, 2 separate data sets. Next up. There we go. So what we've done here, going back to world, the world files that were created. Okay, the world files that were created right here, world. We're plotting world into a figure, defining a color scheme and format, line styles. Notice the lines, see those, see that's a colon. So those are all tiny little colons that are projected that represent those regions with a color. Okay, and then just going to run through these. Doesn't matter here, but It's just giving us a solution, making sure we did it right. Next step is we're bringing up the loans, okay, going back to this here, loans, the loan files, the shape file of the loans, those points, okay, of where the loans were given. And I want to miss my spot here. Yep. So the loans here were that we generated in the Philippines. We're only looking at the Philippines. And that file is called this. So we're generating that and we're calling it that. Okay. Taking our world loans, we're pulling out only loans from the Philippines, from the country, the Philippines. Okay. Next. Done. Next here is we are, GeoPandas is reading this KML file. Okay. So this is creating a shapefile. These are the multi polygon shapefiles of those regions. And we're just looking at the first 5 lines. Now we are going to plot those files. Philippines and the loan, the region and the loans. So the regions have been plotted and the loans, which are dots, points, are plotted on top of that. And there you go. Pretty neat, huh? So here's one of the things here. Notice there's plenty of coverage here, plenty of coverage here, some coverage here, plenty of coverage here. There are gaps where there's no coverage. Right? There are gaps where there's very, very little coverage. So one who's in the industry of providing loans would have folks that are administrators on the ground, field personnel. You'd want those field personnel traveling to the capitals of those regions, meeting with the administrators, having council meetings, and then having town hall meetings, advising the community that, hey, there's some monies available to help develop your regions, your municipalities, your counties, if you deem to do so, because everybody has their needs. So this is a great way to evaluate certain areas and places that could have future demand or whatever the services that you're seeking to provide. I hope that helped. Are there any questions? Any questions?